Hello, Algebra 1 students. Today we're going to look at a website called Desmos. Desmos is a graphing tool online that can do a lot of different features that can really make graphing and some of the function work a lot easier. So to start, open up a new tab and type in desmos.com. You'll get a screen that looks like this. Go ahead and click Start Graphing. Desmos will bring you to this blank page where there's a spot to type in on the left, and then it will graph what you type in on the right. Let's try a couple examples. Here is a linear graph. I'm going to type in y equals 5x plus 3. If you notice as I was typing, it changes the graph to adjust to what I'm typing. If I realize, oh, it wasn't 5, it was -5, I can go ahead and take my cursor back, just hit -5, and it fixes the graph for me. You can use Desmos to graph any type of function. I can change this to a quadratic function if I realized I was supposed to have an x squared. If I'm given a function that is already in factored form, I can just type in the factors and it will graph it for me. If I'm given any kind of complex function that I don't know how to graph, so maybe you're given one with a cubed in it, which is not something we've covered in Algebra 1. You can still type it in, graph it, and look at some of the key features over here on the graph. So a few of you might be wondering, how do I type some of the exponents in? Let me give you a little tip on how to get exponents typed into the function writer, and then we'll look at some more features that you can use Desmos for. So here's an example of a computer screen. In order to quickly type in exponents, if you notice above your 6 is a little arrow. That little arrow is a shortcut for exponents. So you would have to hit Shift, then the 6, and then whatever exponent you would like. So let me show you an example of that. If I type in 4x, if I want squared, right now I'm pushing Shift 6, and if you notice it moved my cursor up here to where an exponent is. I can then type in whatever exponent the function has, even if it was something crazy like 32. Once you've typed in your exponent and you're ready to type the rest of your equation, if you notice your cursor is still up here by the 2, you don't want that. So on your keyboard, if you click the right arrow over here by the 0, so the right arrow, it will bring your cursor back down. If you realize you have to go back, you can hit the left arrow, it'll bring it back up. You can erase and say, oh, that was supposed to be a 3. Oh, no, wait, I was right, it's a 2. And change it, but then hit the right arrow to bring it back down. You can use that for any exponent. You may also have some unique functions like absolute value. Absolute value is one that looks like this, that has the bars around the x. In order to get those bars, it is right here above by the enter. There's a vertical bar. You again can hit Shift, then the vertical bar, and it'll type the vertical bar in. I'm going to go ahead and put my function back to a quadratic. If you notice, my quadratic is kind of going off the graph. I can't see the whole thing. You can use these zoom out and in buttons to get as deep into the function to see all of the decimals in between, or you can zoom back out to see a whole picture of your function. I can also find specific points on my graph. So if I'm looking here and I'm like, ooh, I want to know my x-intercepts, I want to know my y-intercepts, but I'm not exactly sure what they are. If you hover your mouse over, it will pop up. So one x-intercept is 0.523, and the other x-intercept is negative 3.189. My y-intercept is at negative 5. Those points were already plotted, but you can do that with any point. I can look at this point here, click, do a left click, and it'll pop up the point. 0.839, 3.824. You can do that anywhere on the graph if you would like. Another cool feature is that if you want to look at multiple functions at once and see where they cross. So let's say I have this function here, the 3x squared plus 8x, but I also want to look at the linear function 5x minus 1. If I plotted both, it color codes it so you know which function is which. I can zoom out and find the solution based on where those two lines cross. So, and you can hover over. It'll always already put points there. You can hover over and find the solution that way. If you notice the points that they're already selecting, if I click on, it'll make them permanent points that I can look at. So the final feature I'd like to show you in Desmos today, and get rid of one of them so it's not so confusing, is how if you have a function and it's graphed, but you want to know specific points, you don't want to have to sit here and keep hovering all the time, especially since they go away, is you can actually have Desmos create a table for you and then manipulate the table. If you click on Edit List, so it's this gear right at the top, there's an option that pops up to convert to a table. Once you click that, there's a table of points. And maybe you're not really interested in the 5 random points that they picked. Maybe you would like to know one further up the graph or further down the graph, or maybe you need to know specifically when x is 11. If you click on one of these, you just move your mouse and click on it and delete and put in the one that you would like to know, it will automatically tell you the y value for the x that you are picking. So let's say you want to also know where x is negative 9, then you wanted to know where x was 5, x was 7, 11, and 22. You can change and pick any x values you would like, and it will show you all of the y values. So you can use this to check points to see if they're correct. You can use it to plot whatever points you would like. If you're looking up any domain or ranges, the possibilities for this table are endless. And if you need to go back to the graph, you can click Done, and it'll take you back to the start and you can start over. Or you could keep adding equations, whichever it is that you need. You can add as many as you would like to add based on what you're comparing. So after today, you should be able to use the Desmos graphing tool to create a graph from an equation in Desmos, locate specific points on the Desmos graph, how to convert and look at a table of a Desmos graph, and then how to manipulate that table to show the x values that you need of that Desmos graph. If you are going to be using this Desmos website in future lessons, and we're going to be using it pretty in depth. So if there are any of these 4 features that you are not confident about, please go back through this video and explore the Desmos graphing tool on your own.